It is a city that has so much going for it in terms of its locale, its context, its beauty. Let's face it, it is a gorgeous site to build a city, and yet they filled it so quickly with cars that it becomes a nightmare. Auckland is one of the most automobile-dependent cities in the world. It is a continuing story, a saga, in fact, as to how Auckland has failed to develop a decent public transport system.
When I looked around here in this city of Auckland, I had this feeling of being pushed back in time 15, 20 years and say, oh yeah, that was how the traffic engineers did in the 60s and the 70s, and here we are in the 21st century and nothing has really changed in the mindset.
By international standards, Auckland has a very extensive and well-developed motorway system, certainly for a city of its size. It's probably got one of the worst public transport systems you could come across anywhere in the world, and I think you could say probably the worst urban rail system of any city in any developed country in the world.
Per head of population, Aucklanders take 39 trips on public transport every year. But compared to the other big cities in countries similar to ours, Australia and Canada, Auckland is far behind. Brisbane's per capita use of public transport is 50% higher than Auckland's. Perth's is nearly double. Add in Melbourne, Vancouver, Sydney, Toronto and Montreal, and Auckland starts to look very bad indeed. But things weren't always this bad in Auckland.
Half a century ago, in 1955, public transport usage in Auckland was at the same rate as Toronto in Canada, which is now recognised as one of the world's leaders. So the decline here has been more dramatic again than any other city in the developed world, at least as far as I've been able to ascertain. In 1955, the first master transportation plan for Auckland was released, and even by the standards of the 1950s it was almost hysterically anti-public transport and pro-motorway, and that same mentality has been in force for the last 50 years, and that's why Auckland has a large motorway system by world standards, a motorway system that was built earlier than in most other cities, and a motorway system that has really driven trends in transport.
There you have a city that has failed to provide the alternative options to the car and has been totally committed to building large-scale freeway systems that lock in all of the funds, the priorities and the land use patterns based around cars.
It's difficult, if not impossible, to find a city anywhere in the developed world where transport planning bureaucrats have been as hostile to public transport and as deeply in love with motorways as in Auckland.
Fast forward to 2006 and the government has pledged billions of dollars for the construction of even more motorways. Public transport funding, on the other hand, is actually forecast to decline over the next decade.
Auckland is kind of actually now where the Americans were in the 1960s, in which public officials are giving pro-transit rhetoric but still putting all the money into freeways. Even US cities are now finally waking up, and the bulk of the investment in most US cities now is going into public transport.